We are starting late tonight due to a workshop and public hearing. The time is 7:20. I call the meeting to order, and I'd like to start out with a prayer and pledge. Please bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for bringing us here today that we may come together and discuss our wonderful city, and talk about the business. Dear Lord, I just lift up all the people that have family members or sick, that have lost loved ones to you, and I ask you to bless them. Please bless our city as we move forward and as we have changes, that you are with us and you are guiding us. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the second item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion? Or do we change this?
I move to
Approve
approve
the
it
agenda.
with some changes,
Okay,
removing 10C,
Is that it?
and I think Commissioner Crutcher may have one.
No, I don't.
okay. So 10C is the only item, and we're just totally removing? Okay,
They're going to place it on a future agenda.
okay. So with that being said, I had a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, so we're approving the agenda with the one change. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next item on the agenda is citizens' comment, and we have Jim Hink. How do I pronounce it?
I think he was one of the gentlemen that spoke, and I think he just left. Yeah.
Okay.
Still here.
Is he?
Yeah.
Come on up if you have, okay. So you don't, no longer have a comment? Okay. Thank you. So with that being said, we no longer have any citizens' comment. We'll move on to, let's see, awards and recognition.
Thank you, Mayor. The staff has none tonight.
Okay. No awards and recognition. Item 5, public announcements.
Thank you again, Mayor. The emission testing from Monday and Tuesday from 7:30 till noon.
Okay?
Can
Yes.
we just find out something from the state on these certain holidays? They're just going to be closed, so we can just announce that rather than not know, and that way we let them know don't go up there on that Monday or whatever.
I'll see if I can find a way to get in touch with them. I have no contact myself, but we'll see what we can find
If
out.
you contact the county, they can tell you.
Okay,
That way we don't have any questions about it.
okay. Thank you.
Okay, and the only thing, I know that there is going to be a recognition for Mr. Weber, the soccer field, 10 o'clock on Saturday morning. Anybody have any details to add to that? Tom, you might know. Do you know anything? Okay. I think it's in the paper. You can probably find, but I think I'm correct on the time. I did see that, but he's dedicated his career to our youth soccer and working at the middle school, and I think he even did some soccer at the high school also. So, be a great day to recognize him for his years of service. And then any other events that I'm missing on this weekend? Anything on the Friends or the park? Okay.
The junior ROTC is having their competition on Saturday.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you.
And if I can, Mayor, I think we're having a sale at the Triangle School up there to help benefit the Triangle School, and I forget who's putting it on, but I think it starts at, is it 9 tomorrow?
I think it is 10 Saturday morning.
10 o'clock Saturday morning out here at Triangle School, so everybody come on out and participate, especially if you like antiques.
Yeah.
They're selling a bunch of good stuff, so come on out.
Okay, so we got a competition at the high school for the JROCT. I think I just said it backwards. And then with that'll, if you want to come out, I think it's just a fun field day, watching these young men. Hey, Sergeant Hill, you know anything about it? Do you want to tell us? The competition?
Well, the Raider meet is Saturday. There should be about, I would say around 20 teams here. They do a small mini version of the Ranger test. They climb stuff, they do ropes. And it's very interesting. If you want to come out, please come out. Because the first sergeant there and the major would love to have people come out and just see what's going on.
Okay.
They'll be all day long. They'll start about 7 o'clock in the morning, finish about 4 o'clock that Saturday.
Okay. Sounds great. Thanks for sharing. So, it's a Raider competition Saturday at the high school, starts at 7. Like Sergeant Hill said, I think they would love anybody to come out and enjoy the day and watch the competition. Okay, if that's it, we got staff comments. We'll go ahead and let Mr. Hall put on his codes department hat
Okay.
and tell us what's going on.
Okay, thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Board of Commissioners. I'm going to, instead of reporting on subdivisions and this type of thing, I'm going to report on grants tonight. That's part of the codes department too. I met with TDOT yesterday on 3 of our grants. Safe Routes to School. Larry's going to be setting up a closing on that pretty soon. The resurfacing grant is down to the final invoicing, and found out how we can do that, and we can do the final invoicing with one invoice. Tom likes that. Okay. The roadscapes project is having, within TDOT itself, they're having to move some funds to cover that. So we have a little bit of a delay there that Lotion Associates advised me on that, but I did discuss that yesterday. TDOT in these divisions have a lot of changeover. I met the new person yesterday that's going to be handling Fairview on some of these resurfacing things. His name is Mr. Chumley, very nice gentleman. One other thing that Mr. Rowe and Mr. Tucker is helping with is a multimodal grant that we want to proceed with. And we're going to get together next week and determine an exact area there where we're going to put that. And that is going to be sidewalks or bike paths, hopefully from Cumberland Drive all the way to where the sidewalks end in front of, out here in front of City Hall. That's going to be huge if we can get that as far as the safety of our city. We can only get one side, but that'll be the side that we hope that it's on the side with the apartments and the condos out there. That's my report on the codes department.
Wonderful. And I think what the deadline to put in for that grant is end of the month, or?
No, actually, it doesn't start till the end of this month.
Oh, okay.
So that's one of the things that I found out yesterday, and Mr. Rowe, I think, had already found it out too, and as well as Mr. Tucker. So
Okay.
we're in great shape there, and
Good.
we're going to put. They've got some good ideas in mind, and of course, we're going to focus more on safety as much as anything.
Sounds wonderful. Okay, let's see. Ms. Johnson, do you have anything? Okay. And then Mr. Darty.
Thank you. I'm going to, I've given you 3 new spreadsheets, and I guess I just want to, I've tried to simplify, and I've also tried to combine everything into fund format, and just the activities in each fund, and then the tally follows. But I just want to touch on some highlights. The first, if you look at the City of Fairview fiscal year 2016 financial summary, and if you'll go down to total general fund, as you look at the bottom, the estimated ending balance for after August 31st is $574,978, which our estimated beginning fund balance, which is what I got from the auditors, which it's not official yet, but it's what's on their preliminary report, is $564,320. So that is an increase of $10,658, which is unheard of this time of year when you consider the revenue cycle we're in. We're in the down trough of our revenue versus expenditures. We had an increase in, if you turn to the next page, on facilities funds, we had an increase in the facilities fund of $18,803. We had an increase in the drug fund balance of $52,992. So total for all fund balance for the 2 months is $82,453 to the positive, which is, to me, again, I'm just ecstatic. Now, granted, we've got a bunch of auction, gov deals, auction sales through the drug fund, which is a majority of that, but it's this time of year, I'm very excited about that. If you'll go over to the revenue page and look on page 2 of 2, down at the very bottom, I'm just going to briefly touch on this. This report pretty much tries to show where we are based on the budget. I take the budget numbers on if you see July budget, July actual, August budget, August actual. Well, I take the cash flow that we projected from our budget, and I put it out over all 12 months. So that's where we thought we would be. And then, of course, there's the actual. But on total revenue, we thought we would be at $646,734, and we are currently at $840,711, which is $193,977 above where we anticipated we'd be. Now, these numbers do not include any TAN or any of that. This is strictly revenue and expenditures. It doesn't include any liability payments. We also are doing well on the expenditure side. If you look on page 4 of 4, it's got total revenue and total expenditures. If you look at the very bottom, it says surplus and deficit on page 4 on year-to-date. We anticipated being at $109,126 revenue below expenditures. Where we are actually is we're $111,624,000 above revenue and expenditures. So based on that, we are $220,750,000 ahead of where we thought we would be. So I'm very excited about that. If you go back and look at the backup behind it in the detail, you can see that sales tax and there's a lot of things that contributed to it. Minimum business tax was big. We had a big GHSO payment. There's several things that have contributed, but considering where I'm hesitant to give positive news, but I've just been ecstatic all week because this time of year, you're just hanging on till property taxes come in, and it's very encouraging that to see the trends. And I guess that's about it. But if you have any questions, I'll try to get this stuff out. If there's any suggestions on the format of these reports, let me know. I just am trying to streamline it and get it into a format where it's very easy to understand and read. Thank you.
Well, what a great place to be, a lot better than we were last year this time. So I appreciate the report and a good job, staff, for keeping the expense down. Any other comments to Mr. Daugherty or questions? Okay, we got Mr. Baisley.
We got a Starlight Jam Friday, September 25th from 7 to 10 p.m. and the headliner will be Johnny Campbell and the Bluegrass Drifters. And I also just wanted to say that Nature Fest was very big. It's the biggest one they've had. I want to thank my staff, police staff, and all the volunteers that it takes to put that on.
Yes, thank you for saying. Anything else? And now I heard something like 13,000. Do we have a number?
No, we're not going to have an actual, it'd be really difficult to give an
Okay.
actual number, but I think John Cherry will probably give you the number.
I think somebody was telling me they did a counter, so I don't know how, I can't recall who told me, but it'd be interesting to see.
It
if
definitely
they-
was the biggest one as far as attendance that we've had.
Yes. Thank you. Y'all did an excellent job, and thank you for the Chamber of Commerce and all the hard work and the people that put that together. They had a lot of new things this year, and, you know, it paid off, and I think the advertisement, and we got some good PR out of it, so thank you again.
Just, Mr. Powers, if you don't mind, how did the Friends of the Park do over there with their auction stuff?
I don't know if they put the number on.
We're still tallying it from sources within the auction, but it's somewhere around 2,000, a little over 2,000.
Oh, great.
And today we just purchased the 5 canopies for the program director to do Fall Fun Fest today and for other purposes. So
That's great, thank you.
Great, and just in case the audience didn't hear, he said that in their auction that they raised, the total number's not in, but they're thinking 2,000, and they have purchased some canopy tents, I guess, pop-up tents for the Fall Festival. And when is that? How do we?
I can say that the next meeting, but it's actually October 3rd.
Okay. So October 3rd, and that's always a fun day just for the kids and families to come up there and walk, and they have little booths and crafts and activity. And I have to thank Jim for the wonderful directional signs for Nature Fest. I did notice them, and they looked very nice, so, and helpful. So, any other staff comments? Okay, we'll move on. We move to the consent agenda. Does anybody have anything they need to remove or change? With that being said, the minutes are included in the consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
I got a first and second. All in favor, or any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Old business, discuss and take action on status of OpenGov, and that is Commissioner Crutcher.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd ask that this be put on the agenda, I think, last meeting, and at last meeting, we asked to get some more information about the actual contract with OpenGov for this meeting, and that contract was provided to us. I've read the contract. I guess the first question I have is if we made any progress on it actually being up and running.
Yes, we have. We have and I don't have my calendar, I should have wrote it down, but we have a date between, not this next Monday and Wednesday, but the following week, Monday and Wednesday, being live. And being live all the way back to 2006. So they reconciled with the auditor's report on this, and then they're putting a disclaimer. Now, it doesn't match 100%, but it's pretty close. And there's a disclaimer up there that it does not account for adjusting entries. I feel good about that if the board does.
What I would like to do is that if I read the contract correctly, and Larry can correct me if I'm wrong, I think we signed for a one-year period, and then if we don't terminate within 30 days from the date that the effective date of the contract, then it renews for a 12-month periods. I would like for this to be put on the agenda well before that 30 days is up, just to kind of have another status review to see where we are, which I can tell you what that date is.
Like October
December
14th?
something? Oh, was it
Oh,
like-
no, I was saying
It's
the
December, I
week.
think.
It was signed 12/19,
Yep.
2014. So I would suggest that we put it on the first November meeting.
One
See
other,
where we are?
one other topic that we talked with, and should get verification. Mr. Hall was in on that. Did they say next week about, talking about an extension of the contract? Maybe 6 months?
Okay.
On
Good.
that. They were very open to that, and very, and we're talking through a lot of this, and she'll even take, all my spreadsheets I reconcile back to our accounting system. So she'll even going forward, take Excel spreadsheet. But that doesn't help us for last fiscal year, but I think I have pretty much everything in Excel for last year. So I can get that to her pretty easy, and it's just popping it in there. Another thing, I just received a proposal from NextGen, as an upgrade in the accounting system, but I need to talk to the guy because it looks cheaper than what we have now, but it's so much better, or so much more user-friendly, and can do so many more things. So I've got to talk to the representative and make sure, is that in addition to, how much would it cost us if we changed all over next fiscal year? You know, and you get to a point where you're functioning and you almost get to where you're comfortable in your misery, I guess is what. And I think the change, you have to retrain everybody, but at the same time, I think there's a lot of similarities. I think the change would not be that difficult. And if we can do what we're doing now, I think we can handle pretty much any accounting system, software program. But anyway, that's it. They've been trying to get, she was talking to me about White County. They're up and going, but they have the accounting system I'm talking about, the NextGen instead of the FlexGen. So the hardest part for them is receiving the data. And our data, like I said, has all kinds of adjustments in it, or adjustments not done, or this, that, and the other. So it's, but she's got a formula now that she feels like she knows what to look for on the adjustments by taking this 1 year, and she can backtrack it.
Okay.
Well, I definitely don't
And
want to.
Mr. Hall has.
I was just going to say quickly, I definitely don't want to pull the plug on it prematurely. I don't want to waste $3,500 that we put into it, but at the same time, I don't want to spend another $3,500 if it's not up and running by the first meeting in November the way it should be.
I asked her if it was time to punt, and she said, she said, let me go talk to my boss. And I don't know, it was probably 5 minutes later, or I don't know, it seemed like forever. She came back. She said, "No, we want to get this done," and then we brought up the extension, and that everybody was disappointed that we're not up and going.
And if we do keep going with it, let's get that in writing and the modification in writing. So.
Okay, Mr. Hall, go ahead.
I just need clarification from the legal minds. If we get an extension, I'm negotiating it to be free for anywhere from 4 to 6 months, hopefully. Will that change your date as far as giving them a notice?
No.
It would be added at the end of the contract. The only thing that I agree essentially with Commissioner Crutcher's analysis of the contract, I would just like, for the purpose of the minute, to say a couple of things. The effective date that's listed on here is 12/18/2014. That's when the mayor signed it. They signed it on the 19th, and in Tennessee, an interpretation of the law would be the effective date would be when the last signature is attached to make the contract become effective. However, if we decide to not continue with this, I would want to send notice sent certified mail in time or registered so that we can prove they got it such time that they would receive it in their hands prior to 12/18/2014. Because if you look in item 10 under miscellaneous, it says the agreement shall be governed by the laws of the state of California, which is not uncommon with places that have offices in another state. And I don't know what the state of California says about the beginning date of this, so to be safe, if we decide not to go with this, then we'd want it to get to them prior to 12/18/2015. And if they want to extend it 4 to 6 months for free, that we just put an addendum to the contract that tacks an additional 6 months on at the end of the contract. And one other thing, and then I think I've had everything that I need to say about this. If we don't do anything, it will automatically renew for a 2-year period. However, you could terminate it at the end of the second year by giving notice prior to that anniversary date.
Yeah. Well, I don't even want to spend another $3,500 if we're not up and running by the first meeting in November, and I think we will be, but if we're not, and I do want to get that negotiated, that extension, because I think,
That, and it's up and running, and you can get 6 months or 4 months additional at the end, you probably got a pretty good deal.
right.
Thank you. Anything else? Just put it on the next agenda?
November, first meeting in November.
Okay, great, thank you. New business. A, discuss and take action on resolution number 17-15.
A resolution adopting a plan of services for the annexation of property belonging to Priscilla Presley and to incorporate the same within the corporate boundaries of the city of Fairview, Tennessee. The property is located on Horn Tavern Road and is an assessment roll map 022, parcels 064 and 065. Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Vice Mayor, one correction there, I think you called the lady Priscilla Presley.
I think he's,
Did I really? Oh,
Yes,
no.
sir.
I think he said Lampley duties.
I think that
Yeah,
should be.
I think I've seen him in a Hawaii movie today, so it stuck with me. Okay.
That'll be interesting to watch back on the tape.
I think we need to
heard-
correct that.
I heard Lampley, so.
Thank you, Larry. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
But for clarifications,
There was no doubt you said it.
Did you correct that to Priscilla Lampley, I believe?
That's enough. We're gonna get it.
well, it is kind of getting late, so. Okay, so do we have a motion and a second? I heard them both. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 10B, discuss and take action on recommendation from the Planning Commission for rezoning request application for property located on Horn Tavern Road, map 022, parcel 015. I guess I'll just keep reading. 21.91 acres from RS 40 residential to RS 15 PUD residential planned unit development. Raymond and Brownie Pewitt, or, yeah. Owner Sutton.
Mayor, this is only to authorize
Put it-
my preparation of the documents. Just for your information from the Planning Commission, recommendation by them that was approved, and I only need the authorization of the board to prepare the documents.
Move to approve.
Okay, we got first and second. Any, go ahead.
Where is this in relationship to the other property that we just held the line on RS 20?
That's a great question. It's actually down on the other side of Horn Tavern. It's closer to, the PUD is closer to like Cleveland.
Binkley's.
Binkley's, yeah.
Okay.
It's 15 down there.
And one of the things with the PUD that was presented, they had the green space, they had the PUD requirements in the, in their plan, correct?
And this is not habitat at a different location on Horn Tavern?
No, it's going to be a local developer that presented it.
I believe that if everybody's familiar with it, on Cleveland Street, right there, that little subdivision on the corner that was started some time ago, those are all PUD 15s. R15
developer.
PUDs, same developer.
Okay.
And it did have, one of the things on some of these other RS-15 that have come up is when they were doing PUDs, they did not meet our PUD requirements. And so those were the reasons that they were turned down, is they didn't have the proper green space. They were wanting too many.
Sidewalks,
yeah.
lights, everything.
So this one was presented with all the proper, and there's other RS-15 zoning around it. And for the citizens and these, as far as PUDs, they are required to do certain things to make it, fit the PUD requirements. So like parks and, open space and.
Underground.
Yeah, so it's normally requirements, these requirements are, they have a higher standard. So somebody coming in that, they have to meet all these requirements. So it's not gonna just be a row of houses thrown up. That wouldn't qualify for a PUD, and they would need to come just, with the RS-15 request. But with the PUD, it has certain standards, and the plan that was presented met these standards. Anything else, Vice Mayor? Did I
That's it. No.
sum it up okay?
Yep.
Any other questions?
Where is it? I'm looking at the map. I can't make heads or tails. Is it by Leverett Meadows? Is that?
It's across the street
Across the street.
by the Binkley's.
It may actually border Binkley's.
It does, you're right.
One other thing, it has to be an HOA as well as have clubhouses also, too.
Great point. HOA,
Yes, ma'am. Homeowner Association.
so. Okay, is anything else? Okay, so we had our first and second. Any other discussion? Nope. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. That moves us down to, we skipped C because it was removed, so item D on the original agenda. Discuss. Go ahead.
A resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Fairview, Tennessee, establishing a park systems account for donation to the City of Fairview, Tennessee Park System. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of the City of Fairview, Tennessee as follows. Commissioner Crutcher.
I'm going to defer to Mr. Paisley on this. Or who am I deferring to?
Larry, more than likely.
I'll start.
Oh, yeah, whoever was going to tell us what this is.
Tom was
That's
one
right,
that asked me
Mr.
for it.
Doherty.
You want me to go?
Sorry.
Okay. Well, what we have come up with is, or the problem we have is anytime we have a donation to the park, it goes into general fund. And in creating this account, the monies will still be general fund monies. It would just be in a separate holding physical account where it could be accounted for. What has happened is every year, once the new budget is, any donations that go in, just it gets engulfed by the general fund, and there's no way to keep money set aside for what they've been targeted for, and so they have to ask for appropriations every year out of general fund monies. This would be a way to keep it separated where, if it's somebody has donated, for example, to the playground, they can set it aside there and it's going to sit there until they get ready to do the playground stuff instead of, well, we didn't get to it this year, now I don't know where the money is. Also, the second thing is self-sufficient or self-sustaining programming. A lot of the programs that Jenny has gotten started, they pay a fee. Well, a portion of that fee comes back to them as a donation. Well, they want to use that money to put back into the programming, and right now it does not. So this would also keep that money for what it was intended for, as far as why they charge the fee in the first place.
Just a comment, Keith spent some time kind of explaining it to me, and it really seemed like a good idea, because what's happening is we're just throwing it in the funds and these donations. By giving it a line item, then it's kept there to be spent, and it's kind of separated. So, to me, on the surface, it seemed like that was, really a smart, move, and, we definitely, if somebody's donating for something, we want to make sure that that money is going to what it's supposed to. Yes.
If I could add to what the mayor said, the origin of this is really pretty simple, and that is, we've started the Friday night, once-a-month concerts, and there is no admission fee, it is a donation. So they are making more money than they are paying out. So we've seeded them the first year. The second year, they would be self-sufficient if they could hold on to the money that they've generated. So it's, you can call it a revolving fund, you can call it whatever you want to, but the principle is that we seed it the first time, and then it's self-sufficient from that point on. It will actually mean that next year, unless they want to expand over what they've been able to save, then we don't have to seed it again. It kind of runs itself for perpetuity, and we grow, they can grow from their own efforts instead of having to come back before us and say, can we have another $10,000 for the music again? So I think it's a good idea.
One
Yes.
other big point, this is probably the major point, is it would allow for donations for the entire park system, not just Bowie. It would be for, you could donate to Evergreen, or you could donate to the other parks in the city. So it right now we're very very limited on how we take donations.
Well, and I'm not so sure, and I don't know where we are. I know some other, like the auxiliary raise money and stuff like that, but I'm not so sure if there shouldn't be something, and there might already be, but for the rest of the departments, as far as just the money they take in donations, unless it goes to something like auxiliary, you know.
Right now, they're setting up, through the auxiliaries, the 503C, which is good for the donor because there's a tax break.
Yeah.
But as far as for this, you can't really do that because most of it is programming,
Yeah.
the majority.
Okay, any other questions or discussion? Okay, with that being said, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? And we did get a first and second. We talk so much, I forget.
Me too.
Okay, that will give us, do we need to take a recess?
I don't, it's 8 o'clock instead of 9.
Well, hey, we're early. We might get out of here. We won't stop. Okay, that gives us E, discuss and take action on Bill 2015-35.
An ordinance for an amendment to the City of Fairview's Tennessee budget for fiscal year 2015-2016 budget. Commissioner Purcell.
Move to approve.
Second.
Obviously, we passed last time the go-ahead for the special census. We need to pay for it, so that's what it is.
Okay. Any more discussion? Any update you want to give us while we're at this time of SARS? We still going to start in September?
Oh.
And we have to.
Okay.
I've been out of the office the last couple of days in training, but I did respond to an email from Alexa this evening. They are looking to get the number of households and an Excel spreadsheet with all the addresses in the next couple of weeks so they can get those letters out.
Great, thank you. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. That gives us item F, discuss and take action on resolution number 28-15.
A resolution to set a public hearing for the purpose of obtaining public comment on an ordinance to amend City of Fairview, Tennessee Municipal Zoning Ordinance Table 6-102A, Item J, Religious Facilities, Article 6, permitted to conditional use and structures allowable within the mixed use and commercial districts. Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we got a first and second, any discussion?
Mayor,
Yes.
if I may, items F, G, and H are all to set, they'll have to have separate votes, but they're all to set public hearings.
Oh, okay.
For ordinances that this commission has approved on first reading. They've all been to the planning commission for referral as required by the statute, and the planning commission has recommended approval of all three. They'll be back before this board for a second reading,
Okay.
and in some instances, a public hearing if necessary.
Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Discuss and take action of resolution number 29-15.
A resolution to set a public hearing for the purpose of obtaining public comments on an ordinance to amend the City of Fairview, Tennessee's municipal zoning ordinance, Article, what is that one, 16, Administrative and Enforcement, Section 16-107, Amendment 16-107.9, zoning districts as applied to territory added to the planning jurisdiction of the city. Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, did you want to speak on this?
Same thing.
Same thing? Okay. All in favor, or any discussion? I'm sorry, okay. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Discuss and take action of resolution number 30-15.
A resolution to set a public hearing for the purpose of obtaining public comment on an ordinance to amend City of Fairview, Tennessee municipal zoning ordinance, Article number 4, establish of district provisions for official zoning map, Section 4-105, zoning annex territory. Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 11, city manager items of discussion.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Board of Commissioners, thank you. I have very little tonight, but Mayor, I would like for you to report on that MPO meeting yesterday.
Okay.
It was probably the best meeting that I've attended in a long time. And you had a key portion of that, and then I'd like for you to expand on that, especially on the surplus funds that may come down and what it possibly could mean to us in the future. But here again, it was an awful good meeting. Most of the time, those meetings get a little boring, but I don't think it was a boring moment at that meeting yesterday. And we've been in several this week already, so, but if you would, just kind of expound on that just a little bit.
Okay.
Nature Fest, I thought went awful good. I want to thank the Chamber for everything they've done there. I want to thank all of our employees that helped there. It was a long, hard day, I know, because we were there, and, you know, some of y'all were there a little longer than I was, but it was still an awful good event. The next thing the Chamber has in the past has asked us to remove the banners and with Public Works and the bucket trucks, so I just want to announce that we'll be proceeding with that. So, you know, if you get any reports, that's what we'll be doing. So anyway, just want to let y'all know.
Okay, for clarifying, they are using, Public Works is using the trucks to remove the signs.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Forward.
Okay, city attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing further than that.
Okay. Okay, we'll start out with Commissioner Bassell.
I have nothing, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, and Commissioner Crutcher.
I have nothing, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, and Commissioner Johnson.
Nothing, Mayor. I yield the floor to you.
And Vice Mayor.
I just want to say that Nature Fest was a good time for all. Everybody did a wonderful job out there. I think we turned the park on top of the hill over about 2 times with people coming in and out, and it was the best to see. Thank the Lord for good weather. That made it come off even better, but the park did a lot of work. Oh, not you. No, that is
Okay.
that's something else.
Okay, anything else, Vice Mayor?
No, that's it. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
and I do agree. I mean, I can't say enough. Nature Fest had a lot of comments when I was out in the county this week about what a great event. We had several people from Franklin and surrounding areas come. I know they really marketed Hickman-Dixon area, but it was nice to see that Jenny's PR from the Public Roundtable and some of the press release helped, and we were on Talk of the Town. They did mention that, I think, on Friday, so I think some of that helped. And so good job to the chamber and all the people. I know Jessica and Donna, and they just, and, everybody that put in the time and worked on that committee, and I would miss somebody. So, but I do thank them for pulling off a great event. Mr. Hall mentioned the MPO meeting, and that's a meeting that is a monthly meeting that we always try to make, either one of us or both of us. We try to have somebody representative there, because all the mayors are on the committee. A lot of city managers come, and then representatives from transportation and different areas. But it was just a good, healthy discussion, kind of like our workshop tonight. I mean, it's just sitting down, talking about what we need and ideals and different things that we need to change. But it was the, Tennessee as a whole is suffering with, TDOT is struggling with funding because of the gas tax, obviously has affected their funding. And so just basically there was a surplus from the state, and everybody is going to want that surplus. And so I think some of the mayors in the middle Tennessee region we're wanting to put in some kind of recommendation asking for some of that. There's some projects that have not been funded due to the tax, and so it was a great conversation about how we could do and what's, maybe potentially trying to get the funding source in Middle Tennessee and to TDOT. So basically, great conversation, and like I said, several of the mayors participated in the conversation. It looks like we'll put in a request, not that everybody else won't put in a request for the additional surplus, but anyway, but maybe that'll give some relief, and we can get some of these projects that we need to moving forward. And then also this week, I was trying to think, we just had went to the Williamson County Chamber. It was a great turnout. Mr. Hall and I both did, and then some First Bank representatives, John Blade. And so we had a great meeting, but the greatest thing about going to the rest of the county now is they're talking about what's going on in Fairview. Whether it was Nature Fest, we had people commenting that they came and what a great event. They were, always want to know what's going on. And so it's really fun to me to see the difference in the interest and just working on, those relationships. Have had a couple calls about the air condition situation at the CRA. Apparently, we've been on an outage for a while. I did talk to Commissioner Bubba Jones about that, and I think he's trying to get some answers. We were slated the first thing on the new budget to finish, but I know that there has been a lot of our citizens complaining because obviously they're trying to go exercise and it's fairly hot without air conditioning. So even though it is not our responsibility, and I do want to clarify, because somebody was given misinformation that the city had something to do with the holdup. And for the record, we do not. We have nothing to do with the maintenance of the building of the CRA. Not sure where that came from, but to clarify, we do have agreement with the health department where we maintain some maintenance, and we have helped in the years, but that was part of the original agreement when the prior boards requested for the health department or did the partnership with the county. So to clarify, that is two different things. The city has nothing to do with the air conditioning issues at the county. But I think many of us have heard the complaints and have contacted our commissioners, and then even, reached out to the mayor's office or Gordon who is over the parks. What's Gordon's last name? Hampton. It just left my mind. But anyway, they're aware, and hopefully we'll see results from that soon. Did I hit everything on the MPO that you wanted? RTA meeting, they awarded Mayor Dean for his time in office. And I don't know if many people realize, but Mayor Dean in the city of Nashville, he put a lot of focus and emphasis on transportation and what the future was going to look like. And he's really responsible for having the great turnouts that we do. So he will be missed by those boards because he really embraced the concept and was trying to get us forward thinking and pulling us all together as a Middle Tennessee region, because what affects Williamson County affects Davis County. If we bring businesses, they're gonna have people moving in their area. It's gonna increase, revenues, and it's vice versa. So it's really a partnership. The chamber meeting, Williamson County, we did have the Davis County Economic Development attendee, and then we had the Williamson County. The mayor was supposed to be there, the new elected mayor, but obligations had a difficult time, so they were able to pull some of the mayor's office in and be able to have some great conversation of how we work together as a team with Davidson County. And so excited about that. I guess that's it. Anything? Okay. And if I get a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Okay, thank you. Meeting's adjourned. Good evening.